Fight fans, welcome back to Carl Prusa MMA. Got a guest fighting tomorrow. He is Mr. Gianni Vazquez. What a crazy past couple 48 hours for him. All of a sudden finds himself in the UFC taking on Javid Basharat. Gianni, man, you made weight. It's going to happen. You're fighting the UFC tomorrow. How does it feel?
It feels good, like we miss weight, but it's been crazy, brother. I just wanna enjoy the moment. Like what is in the past is in the past. We do everything we could. Since I received the call on Wednesday night, so it was kind of rough, and more because since I'm like a new in the UFC, I guess as soon as I got here yesterday, I mean since yesterday from like 7 a.m. till like 6 p.m. I was doing medicals. So it's been rough, but like we're living the dream, and then we're happy to be now in the UFC, and then can't wait for tomorrow night, go up there and do my thing, and then like everybody just tune in and enjoy the show.
So where were you at when you got this phone call that, hey, we have this opportunity, do you want it?
I was at my place. I was like literally coming from like a practice, and then man, it's crazy because I was at my place from practice, and then I was eating pizza. Literally, I finished my pizza, and I say to somebody, I'm a flyweight, but I've been in talks with my manager for the last couple months. The flyweight division is kind of tight, and then like it's not too many options in the flyweight division right now. It's not looking like the flyweight league looks really stacked. So he's like, "What about we go bantamweight?" And I was like, "Okay, then I'm just gonna talk to my nutritionist, my strength conditioning coach, and then we're gonna do a plan to gain weight now." And then I was gaining weight for going to bantamweight, and then I got the call. So it was crazy because that was the worst timing. But it is what it is, man. Like we're here, and then we're just blessed.
Being a professional fighter, man, it's a crazy life. A lot of people see the fame, the fortune of it. They don't understand the sacrifice that it takes to be a professional fighter, right? When you're battling it out on the regional scene, you're not making Conor McGregor money. People wake up early. You stay up late. It's hard to have kids. It's hard to have a wife. You do this every single day, maybe for the opportunity to get to where you're at now.
Exactly.
What's made you keep going for so long and not giving up on this?
Brother, I've been saying it for so many years. Like I born for this. I've been fighting my whole life. Is all I do, all I know. Uh, you know, I left my country, my family, everything to pursue this dream, and then, now like it was just like here I've been training with so many guys in the UFC, and then I see myself with them, competing all the times in the training room, and I was like, I know I belong there, like it's no secret that in my last uh years, I've been having a lot of victories, and then it's funny, because like after my last 5 fights, because I have a 5 win streak. A lot of people were saying like, "Man, he make it look so easy. What's going on?" And I was like, "Man, like I just fought a guy, just to name somebody. I fought like Trevor Wells, and everybody's like, oh, you make it look so easy." I was like, "Man, Trevor Wells is a dog, bro. He's fighting tonight, actually. Best of luck of Trevor Wells. Hopefully, he gets this W. And I say hopefully because like I know he's gonna get the W, but I hope he gets the finish. And like Trevor Wells is man, he was in the Ultimate Fighting. He was like Team Conor McGregor. Like he was like he is, bro. He's a dog, and he's like his time will come. Because I love the like we fought. We became like not like a close friend, but we became really cool with each other. So he always support me, and then I support him, and then I know like me, like he keeps follow the dream, and then he will be here in the UFC soon too. So, like it was those moments, brother, where like people were saying he's making it look so easy, and I was like, man, it's just like I work so hard every day. I do everything in my power to be the best, and then like I really belong there. That's why the regional the regional like like promotions, like I go there and I fight and I make it look easy because now like I'm in another level, and then tomorrow night I'm gonna show like what I'm capable, and then what I will bring to the table to the UFC. Like the show is coming tomorrow.
Absolutely. In today's day and age, a lot of guys, obviously, everyone starts off on the regional scene. And one thing we're starting seeing more is when you see some of these bigger rank prospects, when you look at their records, sometimes you might see some of these guys find guys that are like 6-8, 8-6. Your last 4 or 5 fights here, man, you've been fighting nothing but killers. I mean, the last one, 14-9, 4-1, 7-1, 8-4, 14-7. You're fighting guys with all winning records. For you, did you know this is what you had to do to try to get an opportunity like this?
Yeah, man. I always, like I've been saying, in a few past interviews I've been doing, I done like last year, that like it's becoming like a vicious thing now for like all the new fighters to like try to build records, like fighting like people with a bad record or stuff like that, and that's why I say like I choose going to up next, and then I'm blessed that they picked me. When I was coming from a loss, they picked me and let me fight for the belt. And then since I became a champ, I told the promoter, I'm gonna leave this promotion as a champ because I'm gonna go to the UFC, and then when I go to the UFC, I'm gonna leave as a champ. And then I love that promotion because they never try to do any favor to me. They always pick like the right fights. They always pick the right opponents. Like, they will like like a fight, brother, 50-50. A lot of a lot of times, it's like I always gonna say that I have all the respect for my last opponent, Narek, because it was a rematch. And the reason it was a rematch because it was like in the last 10 months, I have like 10 people. No, like we have like 12 people saying no to me. People that were having like you mentioned 10-0 records, and then they get the contract with my name, and they were saying no. And I was like, oh my gosh, or they were saying yes, and then like 4 weeks out, full out, and stuff like that. So like, man, we fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. You will never say no to fights. Like if you want to prove, I was saying for many years, if you say you belong to the UFC, come fight me, because then I believe I'm the best guy outside the UFC. If you believe that, okay, let's go fight, and then whoever wins belongs to the UFC. And guess what? I belong to the UFC now.
Before going to up next, your last loss, Edgar Chairez, the guy who's in the UFC now. Obviously, since then, big win streak. From that fight, man, how important does that play a big role in that? The improvements you made, has this been play a big role in this climb to get here?
Yeah, like that fight was like crazy because like like they told me that like it was about to be Sean Shelby and that night, and then like like the winner of that night, it was about to get picked up by the UFC, and then for many years I was working on my wrestling. I was working on my wrestling, and I was doing like a lot of stuff, and a lot of people were saying that that I was just a striker, and to try to prove in the world that I can wrestle, I went for a takedown, and then like the rest is history. But that night, like I even say it today, that like who played a big factor that night in my career was Sean Shelby, because after the fight, after whatever happened, when I went down to the cage, like I saw him, I say sorry because I messed up my performance. I was winning the whole fight, and then for try to prove something that I shouldn't, then make the mistake, and the mistake cost me, like, and and then he has a little talk to me. He told me, don't worry about it. The best in the sport always lost, and then come back, just keep it going, and then you will be in the UFC. And last December, I was in the UFC, and I was like, "Hey, Sean, you remember me? I'm the kid that went viral." And then, I just want to let you know that that night you talked to me, and then that changed my life. Because like after that, I just work harder, and then since then I have a 5 win streak, and then that was really important for me. Like knowing that someone that hires people for the UFC uh, saw my show, he liked it, and then and even after the defeat, he went and told me that was like, okay, this defeat, it doesn't taste like a defeat, because if people can see still in my defeat, my potential, then I should believe it, and then, man, we're here.
Do you feel that fighting is more mental than it is physical?
Oh, 100%, brother. Mental is like the biggest part of fighting, and then brother, like you gotta be strong. Like I say all the time, like the body breaks, but the mental aspect is like, you can keep going if you're mentally strong. A lot of times they're really good people, really like skills physically, but like mentally they're weak, and then like the mental game for sure is a big part. And then more in those moments, on the defeat, like you gotta be mentally strong, to take it. Because like, brother, for the after my that loss, for the next 4 months, I was opening my Instagram or Facebook, whatever, and the first thing that I saw, it was myself getting out for 4 months, brother. If I would be not in the right spot mentally, a lot of people kill themselves for that, and then I feel sadly, but that's the truth, and then if I wouldn't have the right mindset, who knows what would happen, and then I'm thankful with God, because I have a really good my brain, my mindset is really strong, and I'm at the best moment in my career, and then I'm just thankful that like my mindset is always on point.
Being the life of a fighter is a crazy journey, man. I've had so many guys on this show tell me, before they got into MMA, they're going on a bad path. They didn't have structure in their life. MMA turned them who they are today, the father they are, the husband they are. For you, how have you grown and evolved from this journey in mixed martial arts?
All I do, all I know is fight, brother. I've been fighting my whole life. I started training at 12, and then I don't have hobbies, brother. I sleep, eat, and dream fighting. That's all I do. Like I, I wouldn't be who I am without fighting. Fighting makes me who I am.
Absolutely. So many people are watching this day and age, and I think for the most part, the casual fans, they understand you're trying to get in the UFC, you're trying to win belts, trying to get bigger fights, all that. But very few people understand the fight outside the fight. To me, that's that fight to secure financial freedom. That's that fight to live life on your terms, not follow societal norms, create a message, create an audience, live life your way. For you, is that a big part of the journey?
Where I come from Mexico. I'm from Mexico City. I born and raised there, and then fighting is always in my head. A way to change my life and the ones that surround me. My family, everybody who is. I always been saying that whoever has been with me from the beginning and then he's been adding in the journey on the road, whoever is with me, we all go together to the top. And I want to use my platform as like helping others. Because like you're not like if you live in this world without the capacity of like helping others, like who you are, you know like life is not all about you, and then like I want to be one of those people that like I say it today, to all my Latin American fans, my Mexican fans, like the dreams come true, brother. And I'm like, I walk the talk, and the dreams come true, and then I just want to show people, inspire people, and help people, to help them like make their dreams come true, and then that's what is life about it.
You've been doing this journey well over 10 years now, man. It's kind of crazy to think 15, 20 years ago, mixed martial arts was not what it was today. It wasn't as popular, it wasn't as many promotions, it wasn't legal at every single place like it is now, pretty much. When you first started getting into this, do you remember any early promotions where maybe you're fighting outside at a bar, sketchy conditions? Do you have any crazy stories?
Bro, I make my debut at 17 in Mexico, and a little like a feria, it's like a little like a carnival. I make my debut up there at 17. It was MMA and professional, and it wasn't like a, a cage. They have a ring. And then the crazy thing is that when I make my professional debut, my opponent didn't show up. And then like the promoter was like, okay, Gianni, look, this is the deal. You're kind of tall, and then it's a guy that's kind of short, you know. I was waiting like, I don't know, like 120. It's like you weigh like 120, he weighs like 145, but you're tall, he's short, so it's kind of even. It's like just fight this guy, and then if you guys do the best show, you have $75, $75, brother. And I was like, bro, I'm 17, $75. It was a lot in that thing. I was like, hell yeah, brother. I fight him. I was getting my ass whooped the whole first round. That man, he's like a rock. Second round, I was getting my ass whooped, but as a good Mexican, I have a good chin. And then he got tired of punching me. He picked me up, slammed me. I got armbar belly down. Thank God, brother. And then and then from there I went to like different type of promotion. I fight in a promotion. Man, brother, it's funny because I find a promotion where they used to do the events like at like homosexual for like the homosexual club, like something like that. It was like it was like a club, but for like the gay community, and also they used to do the events up there. So I find another fight there, other fight like a little like yeah, so many places, brother, so many places. Here in the US, I fought one time in a place that we used to call it Chicken Ranch.
You obviously mentioned being from Mexico. Now that you're in the UFC Noche, is that on the radar?
Of course, of course. Tomorrow I'm gonna show why, like they're being missing like one of the most exciting Mexicans. And then after tomorrow, the performance I'm gonna put up there for sure. We have to be in Noche UFC. It's no other show that we have to be. Like if you want a Mexican fighter, that's me. Tomorrow I will prove it.
So tomorrow you're taking on Javid Basharat. Guy's been around for a little bit. Overall, what do you think of him as an opponent?
I mean, I know the guy. He fought my big bro Ricky Simon. Everybody knows how that fight ends. Everybody knows that like I work with Ricky, and then I always on his corner, so I kind of knew for that. But a lot of people ask me, like, hey, what's the game plan for tomorrow and stuff like that. My brother, I take the fight Wednesday night. It's no game plan. The game plan is going up there, do what I love, enjoy the moment to be in the biggest promotion in the world, and just fuck some shit up. We just gotta go up there and swing. It's no game plan, brother. It's 1.5 days to prepare for this. I'm just living the dream. I'm gonna go up there and then, like give all my heart and all my soul to the cage. I'm gonna leave everything in the cage.
With this one being in the Apex, you're going to be fighting in a smaller cage as opposed to the audience one. It's going to be similar to those on the regional scene. Do you like that? Does that add anything to this?
I love the small cage, brother, because they can run. They can run. They have to face me right away. I love the small cage because it's more violence, and I'm built for the violence. Like you mentioned it. It's more like I'm gonna be in the regional scene cage. So I'm used to that cage. I'm really used to that cage. I would say this. It would be last year that would be sad because the Apex doesn't have people, but like right now, it's like a little mini scenario. They have a lot of little like seats, everything. Bro, I got the fight, brother. I have like 20 people buying tickets to come to see me. So I'm so excited tomorrow. Like I'm gonna fight with crowd and everything, and then I'm a showman, so I'm gonna give the people what they ask for. I'm gonna give them the best show.
Well, now some big changes this year. Any finish is a bonus. You mess around, you get some sort of finish. 25,000.
Yeah, they have that. Like missing weight don't get that, but my brother, I'm just gonna tell Uncle Dana that like, my situation. It was like, I feel like maybe we can get the pass. We can get the pass. Like, maybe half or something, but yeah.
All right, Gianni, last question for you, my friend. In a perfect world, what is the outcome tomorrow night when you make your UFC debut against Javid Basharat?
I just see myself winning, brother. Doesn't matter how. I'm a completely MMA fighter. So whatever the fight goes, I just see myself winning tomorrow night. My debut is a win.
Absolutely. Gianni, man, thank you so much for taking the time out of your dinner to talk to me. Congratulations, and I can't wait to watch the fight tomorrow night, man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, you, for inviting me to give me this space. I always say, fighters, we're nothing without you guys. Like, you guys put us in nights of a lot of people. The media make ourselves like, like more famous. And then like, we fighters, we're nothing without the media and without the fans, because we literally is from you guys. Because you guys, if nobody watches, we wouldn't get paid. So thank you so much, brother.
Absolutely. Well, that's it for us today. I'm Carl Frizza. Here's Mr. Gianni Vazquez. You can watch him make his UFC debut tomorrow night, taking on Javid Basharat. Take care, fight fans.